So today we're going to talk about how stress is actually keeping you from reaching your goals. To do more, to diet harder, to train harder, etc., and basically just adding more to your plate aren't the actual solution. It actually has the opposite effect, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and grab the bell while you're down there so you know when a new video is dropped. My name is Camilla Sage, and I'm a clinical dietitian and a binge and emotional eating coach, as well as a health coach and a life coach. I'm also the founder of From Pressure to Pleasure, the program for releasing binge and emotional eating, weight loss struggles with being a stress addict, being burned out, etc., because you deserve to feel your best and also getting the results you dream of. So, do you often get so stressed during your day that it feels like it's just too much and you're desperate for an escape or maybe a break or just something to cope? Just get like a 5-second pause from all of it. And all you want to do is to actually be free from this stress because it feels like it's endless to-dos. It's just very overwhelming tasks. And you just really just need to get a break. And you dream of days without the hustle and bustle, but it just feels like an impossible dream right now because you don't seem to ever be able to shift things. It never stops. And many of the women I talk with every day say things like, oh, when this next thing is out of the way, when this phase is over, when this project is finished, then everything will get better. Then I'll have time and energy, etc. But the thing is that there's always new things coming up, always new items on the to-do list, new demands, new projects, new phases, or whatever. And you're never reaching that finish line. It's just get pushed ahead of you all the time. And the restlessness and the feeling of just being chronically tired is always there. And you don't even remember the last time you didn't feel exhausted. And the thing is that living with chronic stress and overwhelm are actually the biggest triggers for people to turn to food and drinks to cope, because they actually live a day which is extremely exhausting for their body, their mind, their mental health, as well as their emotional health. So using food becomes a strategy that works every time for your brain to get a break and ensure your survival. Because stress is actually an extremely unpleasant feeling for the brain because it's unable to distinguish between a deadline at work or the kiddos are screaming and quarreling or, you don't have enough time in the afternoon to get everything done or you're running late, or if it's actually a very life-threatening situation you're up against. Therefore, your brain will do everything it can to move you from where you are in the stress to just feel a little less bad. And then food is the safe winner for activating the reward center in your brain, as well as changing the whole chemistry in your body. So you actually end up feeling a distraction, getting an escape, getting a few seconds to cope. But this is only a regulation mechanism. And if you struggle with these patterns, with stress and overwhelm, emotional eating, overeating, bad habits, binging, struggling to lose weight, always feeling exhausted, chronically being stressed, and maybe you have been burned out several times, all of these are actually only the symptoms of the underlying things going on. And it all comes down to a completely different pattern on the inside. It's actually a complete set of different patterns that are the root cause of these behaviors and these struggles you feel are the main issue. But like I said, the food, the eating, the overwhelm, the stress, the struggle to lose weight, the bad habits, and so on, they are only the symptom, aka the coping mechanism. So it's different patterns deep down inside all of these issues comes from. And I will mention some of them here. One of them is perfectionism. You go through your days with an inner critic and you are afraid of being judged, criticized, and not being good enough. And you spend a lot of time on small details and you stress over doing most of the things in your days. So you're constantly 17 steps ahead, even though you're just currently at the start of your day and focusing on the first tasks. And when you're stuck in this perfectionism and having everything inside your head all at once, things take so much longer time than they should. And even if you get things done, you still stress out about what if it wasn't good enough. So that's the first one. The second one is actually overanalyzing. You constantly think what if thoughts and you never really finish things because you go back and spend even more time on different scenarios again and again and again. And everything feels unclear and messy, and the overwhelm just intensifies. So you have no idea where to start and you feel completely stressed out and out of control. You're literally walking through life with a water hose in your mouth and just maximum water pressure, just trying to get it down. It feels like a lot while your head is spinning all at the same time. And the next pattern is people pleasing. So you say yes when on the inside you really want to say no. And you take on far too much for others, even if you don't really want to. And you kind of like being the person who is known for always fixing things and being there for everyone else, even though you are literally sacrificing yourself along the way. And the next pattern is an extreme need for security. So before you start doing anything, you think, what if this happens? What if that happens? And you want to know that something is guaranteed, safe, and secure before you take action or make a decision. And you often get ready to act by setting your direction, but you rarely, if ever, manage to actually move forward and go for it. So with this pattern, you will actually be stuck in the decision-making process because you will never find the guarantee you're looking for, because security comes from the experience you're getting through taking action and therefore getting a whole lot of experiences that supports you and make you more certain and more confident that you are on the right track in your decisions. And the next pattern is low self-worth. You never feel good enough and you constantly worry about others if they are going to see this. And this naturally leads to a lot of stress and it steals a lot of mental capacity and energy from all areas of your life. You go through your days always finding the evidence of everything that isn't good enough, and you're left with a bad feeling of never being enough or worthy enough. And you're constantly afraid of someone seeing this or getting it confirmed from others. And the next one is the fact that you have popcorn brain. So your brain is constantly jumping from one thing to the next. And you're constantly multitasking with a million thoughts inside your head and your thoughts moving in a million miles per hour. And either you are multitasking just mentally or physically or both. And this actually makes your head spin and you get stressed out because you're terrified of forgetting something and falling short. This could go on forever, in full transparency. It could go on forever. But the probability that there were a few things in here you could recognize yourself in is quite high if you struggle with stress. And this is why you might be overwhelmed right now too, because you're thinking, how am I going to handle all of this? This is a lot. I can never sort out all of these things to actually get to deal with my eating issues. So these patterns might seem impossible to tackle, but they aren't. It might also seem like they are making it impossible for your body to lose weight and stay there. And the reason for this are actually two different reasons. The first one is that you don't have emotional fitness and you expect quick results in what you do. And if something doesn't work or the weight doesn't move in the right direction or as expected, you overthink everything you do. And combined with this, you're doing perfectionism around food, something that only leads to suffering because you're constantly looking for what isn't good enough or perfect in what you do. And this fear of failure gets bigger and bigger. And in the end, you feel pushed into the corner of tormenting yourself under the restrictions of having to go on a diet, in addition to the results not coming as you desperately wish for. And all of this overthinking and fear of failure and perfectionism and so on, with the lack of emotional fitness, this is why you have all of those patterns I was talking about. All of this actually leads to your body being chronically activated in fight or flight, aka stress. So your cortisol levels are through the roof. And this actually promotes fat storage in your body, and it kind of prevents fat burning. So not only are all of these mental patterns and strategies that aren't serving you the main problem, but they are literally also, as long as you're on this path, they are literally setting your body up for failure, because you will chemically in your body from your hormones kind of being not set up to be able to burn fat. You will be prone to storing it instead very quickly when you first eat something and have these fuck it moments. So all of these patterns are actually the main reason that you feel stuck in the problems with weight loss and emotional eating and stress eating. And it's all about low self-worth and low self-esteem and the relationship with yourself, because overthinking, overanalyzing, perfectionism, people pleasing, having a negative body image, being afraid of failure, having monkey brain, afraid of being judged or criticized, etc. All of these are actually part of the same problem. And that is the root cause of everything. Fortunately, there is a solution that will help with all of these different things. And it's precisely because all of these things are actually part of the same problem. So we have to work from an inside out approach to manage to create permanent changes. Because if we're going to manage to lose weight and keep it off, then we have to start with emotional fitness, as well as healing the trauma you carry from having tried to go on a diet a gazillion times, only to experience you being a failure when you fail. Or maybe you haven't gone on a diet, but you have been having all of these all or nothing thoughts regarding food, on track, off track, and so on. And that is also an issue, because those patterns will, as well, like the dieting, only take you onto this path where you get it confirmed that you fail and therefore you are a failure. So we have to tap into not only a journey of healing, a journey of growing your mindset skills, and also working on the relationship with yourself and how you show up in life. Because when you learn this, then you will be free. Not only do life the way you please, but you will also get the results you want, despite the fact that life and circumstances on the outside not always go according to plan. But it doesn't have to take a long time to create this change, because these patterns are all part of the same problem. And if we use the right tools with the right strategies, with the right approach, there will be very quick evolution moving forward, and you will expand and grow into the version of yourself you really want to be. So don't wait until the stars align or are in position, because the perfect timing doesn't exist. And in this way, your worst timing is actually your best timing, because if we train ourselves to deal with these things when life is smooth sailing, it's a much higher probability that when shit hits the fan and it's very rough sea in life, then you will struggle to be on the same level as you was. But if you actually practice these things when life really happens, that's when you build the skills, the resilience, and the strength to actually moving forward without going back into old destructive patterns. So if you want help to overcome these patterns once and for all, then start with checking out my free training on all the mental aspects of weight loss struggle, binge and emotional eating, the diet trauma, and all things mindset and dieting and weight loss. I've added the links in the notes below. So that's it for today. And if there's anything you want me to make a video about, then please drop it in the comments, and I look forward to see you next time.